Hi, everyone.
Hi.
It's another Sisters of the Mystical Tarot. And I'm your host today, Val, with Dragonfly Crystals. And next to me is Allie, Heart and Soul Connected. And Karina, Heart-Centered Tarot. And Allison, Aries Girl Tarot. And Sherry, Voices from the Swamp. So happy to have my sisters here today. And we have some fun topics to cover. And we'll take
notifications just went out. I just got everybody's notifications.
Yes, yeah, me too. Yeah.
Oh gosh. So hi, Janet, Bora Bora, Amanda Carroll.
Hey, Amanda Carroll.
Nice to see you guys here. So happy you joined us. And
hi, Teresa. Hi, Kay.
Wow.
Hey, Teresa, Watcher, 999.
Wayne.
Jess D.
Yeah.
And Wayne Rich is here.
Yeah.
Where's your scooter, babe, Wayne?
Yeah. Good to have you all here.
Hi, Teresa.
Amanda, Mr. Traveler.
Wow.
Teenager.
Yay.
Hot diggity dog. We got some people in the house.
Watcher.
I'm glad to have you guys here.
Yeah, Watcher, yes, we are going to be doing some personal readings, but they're the ones from the people who left their questions in the comments.
Correct.
Because we're not taking any questions from the chat anymore.
Just to organize ourselves.
So yeah, if you just on Saturdays we post a link. Sisters of the Mystical Tarot, and we say put your questions down here if you want us to read on it on Wednesday, and that's where we take them from.
Right.
So
right.
If you have a question, make sure you put it in anybody's chat, and it'll get here.
Yeah. So I wanted to say hi to MEJ, Starhawk, Sally,
Sonia. Hey.
You guys are, and we got Sharon here.
Oh, yeah.
Hi, Sharon.
So we're just saying hi there.
Sharon's got the same mic as me.
I had it first.
You did.
Okay, so we'll go ahead and talk about the topic for today, which is harnessing the power of intuition, insight, and practices for tarot readers. Tarot for tarot. I've always said tarot, but it doesn't matter. It's all the same thing.
Same thing.
So, in talking about how you receive your deck, you don't know what to do with it. In fact, Rose Blue had this question the other day. I just got my first tarot deck. She said, "What do I do?" And Scott was telling her on.
Sorry, Val, can I just stop you for a minute? Somebody's got their phone on and it keeps pinging and coming up. So if you've got your phone on, put it on mute or
mine's off.
Yeah, put it down low. Here we go.
Okay, so
all of our stuff going on.
So what do you do with your deck? You just got it. You don't know the first steps about what to do with it, how to make a connection.
Yeah.
And one of those things that you can do is you touch every single card in the deck, lay it out in front of you, handle the cards, look at it, put your energy in there, and just view every single card. Then this is something that I have done. I think it's worked well for me, is I take that deck then and I really put it to my heart and I consecrate it to the highest good of all. And, this little saying about, the highest light, highest truth, highest vibration of divine source for everyone that I read for. And those are the answers that the deck will give me. And so that's creating the energy and telling the deck the level of communication you want and the level of guides coming in to work with the deck and you while you're doing it. And so that would be like the basic first steps to doing it. And then Allie, what else?
It's funny because I don't have any smudge with me because that would be kind of smoky in here, but I just lit some incense. And what I tend to do is I might, with either smudge or incense, I might go around the cards to, to cleanse them. Maybe not as much with a new deck, but you can. But anytime I use a deck that might have some icky energy on it or it needs a recharge, I'll do that with either my smudge or my incense, and try to, visualize that they have been sort of washed clean of any energy that, especially if you use a deck for a political reading.
Oh gosh, yes.
Make sure you clean it really well.
You really have to, because that stuff can hang on there.
Ooh, yeah. Some people have just a deck for their political readings because they don't want all that on their regular cards. But I've found that to be very effective for myself. And then I might let it sit. I might take like a crystal or something and put it on top of the deck and just let it sort of work with that crystal.
Oh, good
That's
idea.
what I would do. Yeah.
Good idea. So, Marina, what do you do for your deck?
I'm just going to get my water.
Okay. Like most of you, I like to handle the deck. I like to look at it and see if there's anything in there that initially jumps out at me.
Oh.
And, just kind of get a feel, because I think every card feels a little different. Mm-hmm. Some cards, the imagery is really nice, but it's, I don't like the way this card feels. So that the more that I work with it, the more that I can put an association with that card. Right. Mm-hmm. And then say, oh yeah, okay, no, this card for me it's not a good news card or whatever. I did initially when I created my deck, it literally went with me everywhere.
Oh,
I had it in a pouch, and wherever I was, there it was.
You're really imprinting your energy on it.
Yes. Right. Yeah. And that really, really helped a lot. But usually, I like to look at the imagery and, kind of get a feel. Yeah, get a feel for it. And then if I have to consult in the book, I'll go in the book and see what the author had sort of intended for it. Yeah, and take it from there.
Yeah, I love that. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Sherry, what do you do with your decks when you get them?
Well, when I first get them, I take them outside and smudge them with some white sage. I light some incense. I have to do it outside because my brother's allergic, so I can't do it in the house. And if it's like really close to a full moon, then I may hold off a day or two and just set them out in the moonshine. A little trick that I ran into, I was reading something a couple of weeks back, and one of there was a reader talking about whenever they switched to a different deck or after they used a deck for a reading, they would do that to like knock the old energy off. I thought, oh, well, that's something simple I could incorporate and do. So I started doing that, and I don't know, it seems to kind of work. So maybe just because I think it's going to work, but I try to put them out, get some moon power. I take them out and smudge them, and then I go through them, because something else I had read is that if you go through and look at each card and handle each card, it imprints your energy on that card. So I've started doing that. And basically, when it comes to reading, before, like we get started, I'll just kind of say, what decks do I need to take out? And I'll pull out a handful. Invariably, I still have to go back to the rack because I don't have the right deck I need. But even with several out, it's just a matter of when I go to start a read, I just kind of put my hand over them. It's like whichever deck feels, I don't know, it's just an energy feeling I get over it. Okay, that's the one I need to use. So, and that's basically, I mean, not a whole lot into it. That's kind of basically what I do.
And Starhawk is asking, do any of you use a bowl of salt? That's I
Yes.
tried that. Oh, you have, because salt is a purifier, right?
Yes, and I will. I generally do it if I'm doing a smudge or a cleanse of the house.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, I will use salt, Epsom salt, and rubbing alcohol, and kind of put it on top of a bowl with the water underneath so that it stays on top, and then light it.
Oh,
And just let it burn, and it takes all the energy, all the bad juju away.
sounds really
Yeah.
powerful. So I should have put this main question on the banner, but Allison, so how do you prepare your cards, and once you get them, what's your technique process?
As you all know, I don't really buy decks, right? But I mean, I do, but it's rare. So, when they're new, with incense, I run each one front and back through the incenses. I just go through the entire deck as I'm looking at them. So I'll pull a card, the incense here, and it's like this.
Yeah.
And just sit there and look at it and set quiet time aside to do it. Just do that with the whole deck.
Yeah.
Like I was mentioning, we were talking about it last night. You know, depending on the deck, and I've done this with several decks, I usually know, but I've been wrong, a deck that I'm going to be close with. I just sleep with it under my pillow. It's just
Right,
under
and that's another really good way to imprint your energy on the deck, and also let the deck impress on you. So
Yeah. And I always knock my deck. You guys probably see me do it. I do it all the time. But as far as like saging them and all of that, I don't really use sage at all. It's too harsh for me. I mean, sage is cool, but I don't really use it. But that's really it. I mean, it's not a big. And they always have crystals on them. Always, all of my decks that I use. I really have 4 decks that I really use, and they're always just out, and they're on my mat. As you know, I'm at my sister's right now. I'm feeling a little out of sorts, but I have my stuff. It's fine. But you see, I'm always in the same spot. All my decks, you know, they have, you know, they're different. That's it.
The chat moved too fast. I just have to put this. I put mine in the dishwasher. Holy cow!
That's hilarious.
Well, because Wayne said, "Why don't you just wash them?"
For other things.
Yeah.
Oh my God! Is that what he
just run them in the water? Yeah.
Wayne.
Troublemaker he is.
Dunk them under running water. My goodness, you guys are hilarious. So, Sharon, what do you do to prepare your cards when you get them?
Well, some of you have mentioned what I do is, so a new deck, I shuffle it a few times, and then I take each card, I look at it. Ooh. I look at it. I'm going to change cards. I don't want that one. And then I put it next to my heart.
Yep.
And then sometimes, but usually, but not always, I will sleep with the deck that first time under my pillow. Also, when I'm reading, I do the same thing that Sherry learned to do, and that's this. I also, so that's why I mute myself between readings, and I have a little bell to get rid of the energy. But that's how I do that. I used to use sage before I started any session, but because of the reasons that you guys have already stated, it's just too hard on me. It's too hard on.
Sinuses can't take it.
Yeah. So I suppose I could do it outside, but I used to sage them all the time. And
I only use the white sage because it's very mild.
Yeah. Well, just the smoke alone. So anyways, what else do I do? Yeah, I'm careful. I try to remember between each reading to clear the decks because that's really important.
And that's another thing to talk about. Now that we talked about when we initially get that deck, we touched on a few of the things that we do when we're in the middle of reading, when we're changing decks, and when we feel like the energy is shifting and we're not getting the answers we want. what's your
Yeah.
process to identify that kind of, this
Do you
needs
want
to,
me to answer that?
yeah, you can start and answer that.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, I know when I have to change decks. Sometimes I'll do a spread and it's complete garbage, and I know, okay, I have to switch decks, or I just get the feeling to switch decks. The other thing I do is when I get the feeling that it's not the right deck, I touch my decks, and it's really interesting because, like right now, this doesn't feel sticky, but it sticks to my fingers.
Hmm.
Yeah, it's just amazing. So,
Sticky, it's icky.
yeah, yeah, sticky. So that's the one I'm supposed to do. I just, of my own personal cards that I made, could I talk about like intuition and sort of helping develop that?
Yeah, well, that's the next go round.
Okay, next go around.
We are
Okay,
going to hit that.
because these are interesting cards.
we talked about the energy and how
Yeah.
we're going to,
Yeah. Yeah.
handle our cards. Then we'll dip in, or you can dip in now and do it both at the same time if you want, about how we're going to build that connection while we're working on the relationship between us and the cards. And
Yeah.
when you know or don't know that a deck is going to be our deck, it's going to work with us. And
I just have a feeling, and if I haven't picked that up, then spirit gives me garbage cards, and I go, okay, change decks.
for sure.
Yeah.
So Allie, when you're in the process of using those cards, and what are your clearing methods in the middle of readings? And what's your
a lot of it depends on the question. If I have certain decks I use for spiritual questions, and certain I use for like my love interest or all that stuff,
Yes.
But I also like to mix up the cards. Like sometimes I'll get 2 cards from one deck and then a card from another deck, and I use it as a clarifier. And a lot of it, my feeling, I go by the imagery and the word on the card. That's what I really connect with. And there are some cards that just don't. I haven't even opened the boxes, and I already know I don't connect with them. So I need to be a little more judicious when I go buying them. But I find that has really helped me. The other thing I do sometimes, if I pull a 3-card reading and it's like, no, I don't know. And then I'll pull from another deck a 3-card reading and I'll put it on top of those 3.
Yeah.
And that really helps.
Yeah, it does. I like that technique too, because when you're like, what?
Yeah. I don't get it. Yeah, right.
You lay another 3 out and suddenly, it's a little late.
Now I get it. Yeah.
Yeah. So that was good. So you clear your cards in the middle of readings. Do you use the bell, or you use the?
I don't really do that. No, I just start shuffling it up again. But I also don't eat M&Ms and watermelon while I'm doing readings, because that makes things too sticky.
There you go.
No cotton candy for Callie.
No cotton candy. No cotton candy. No.
That could definitely be a problem. So Marina, what do you do in between? If you're doing readings and you're going, whether it's political or personal, what's your way of?
Yeah, I very much rely on going where spirit leads me, and I've come to recognize and appreciate that I may not always know why I'm led to a certain deck, and I don't need to know why. As long as I can look at the cards and intuit the message from the cards, that's fine. So yet there have been times when I'm shuffling a deck and I'm getting ready to start pulling cards, and the voice says, no, put those down, it's okay, all right, backing away. And I'm looking at the other decks, and usually there will one that will speak to me. It's kind of like, Mimi, pick me. So that's what I do. I don't often use different decks or different cards as clarifiers. I have done it on occasion, and it's worked well, but usually it's what I need to say. I can get a sense from what I'm looking at. And you know what? when I think about it, it's what I will do after I'm finished with the reading and I start to shuffle. Okay, I do in my mind say, okay, clear that, clear that.
Yeah.
So, and it's funny because as I was thinking about answering the question, I thought, yeah, you know what, I do. I
So
do.
you're already, using your power, your ability to clear, you're charging the cards and clearing the cards. You're doing whatever you need to do in the middle of doing it all. You're taking
Yeah,
care of it.
clear
So
it.
that's top notch.
Yeah, and like Sherry said, yeah, it's how you sometimes don't realize what you do until you have to really stop and think and
Yes.
what do I do?
Yeah.
Yeah, the knocking on the cards. Yes, I'll do that a lot.
Do that too.
Where
Yeah.
I'm knocking on the cards, and I can do it after a reading, or I'll do it just before I'm ready to start flipping the cards. I'll knock on them and say, okay, yeah.
Oh, that's good. That's a good one too. And I love Wayne saying, isn't it a drag when you get a new deck and for whatever reason you're disappointed with it? Wayne,
Yes.
I'm the queen of that because I have a whole bookshelf full of cards without realizing before I really started doing readings. I'd get them home and I go, oh, I don't connect with this. What did I get this for? I didn't do one of those open box videos. I just bought the front looked pretty.
Exactly.
And
I like
yeah,
the colors.
yeah.
That's
So,
why I started doing the card flips with all the decks I have. I've started doing little short, anywhere
yeah,
from 5 to 10 minutes long, depending on how many cards are in the deck. Just flipping through and reading what it says. And
yeah,
I figured it just gives everybody else a chance to look at it
yeah.
and see if anything speaks to them, you know.
Absolutely. And quilting Babe Suzanne says,
Yeah.
we've been known to pick the deck up and walk around the store. And that's
It's a great idea, Suzanne. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, unfortunately, I get it from Amazon, so
Yeah. Yeah.
Exactly.
that's why
Sometimes,
the open box. I look at everything I can do.
right.
Yeah.
Sometimes I don't connect with a deck. I go, oh, this is not working for me at all. But maybe 3 months or even 6 months later, all of a sudden I connect. Like this one, which I
Right.
use a lot. I didn't connect with it right away. So sometimes it takes time.
It does. It can take
Yeah.
a long time. I mean, I've had that happen for me as
Yeah.
well. So
I know when I'm reading something that I learned watching Danny, and from the shaman classes I've taken from him, is I'll get 3 or 4 decks out and shuffle each deck, and then I'll pull a card from each one into the positions and then read those. And then if I need to qualify, then I'll go back. Do I go back to what I've already got open, or do I need to grab something else, to kind of solidify whatever it is I'm looking at? But I started watching Danny doing like his Sunday spiritual reads, where he does, it's just him, and he has 3 or 4 rows of cards, and they're all from different decks that he reads out as he's going along. And when I first saw him do it, I thought, oh, that's a cool way to do that. I never even thought about that, So, and then when I took his first shaman class he talked a little bit about that. And it was like, okay, let me try that. And that seems to work whenever I'm doing a reading. So,
yeah, that's definitely a way to have. So in the middle of a reading, Sherry, what would you do as far as feeling like the energy needs to be cleared, or do you feel comfortable to keep going, or you just?
Oh no, there have been times when I've shuffled and I'm in the process of laying out, and it just something doesn't feel right, and I'll just put them down and I'll go, okay, wait a minute, I got to get another one. That one's not working right now, and then I just go with whatever I'm being led to go with.
Yeah.
And next question, I may go back to that original deck. It wasn't meant for that question. I was jumping the gun with it, so to speak.
You can sure feel when this isn't it.
Yeah.
even though you've shuffled and you've gone all the way through. No, it is.
Yeah. And if you actually start flipping them over, you're like Allie was saying, well, what is this mess? I mean,
Yes, exactly.
you
And then
know?
you have to get the other deck of cards out. So,
Yeah.
I've done that, all those scenarios. So, so Allison, what do you do in the middle of readings and you have your 4 decks and you're working, getting different, do you ever feel like you aren't getting the right answers, and what do you do?
You know, it's been 3 for the longest, and now it's this new deck that I've fallen in love with. So it's become 4. I don't really have it happen that much, only because I do only stick with those 3 decks.
Yeah. Okay.
I mean, it's either tarot or it's those 2 oracle decks.
I mean,
and
it's
I've got decks, not as much as a lot of you, because again, as you know, I just don't buy a lot of decks, but in fact, I'm getting ready to get rid of them all, because it's like this is all I'm using, or most of them, I should say, because it is true. You do find yourself being drawn to a deck. I have my first deck, and every once in a while I'll pull it out.
Yeah. Every once in a while. That's true.
I don't have much else to say, because it's those decks. Those are the only ones I'm drawn to. I always get my answers, and like I said, I have this new deck that I'm loving. That's very, very special, and I knew I was supposed to buy it.
Right.
And it's been magic.
How many of you read from the pictures and the images and that feeling? Yeah, same. I do.
I think again,
it calls when you have a deck that calls to you, and you look at it and you go, oh yeah, and maybe for another reading it'll say something else to you. Always speak.
Even with the Rider-Waite, I still find things that all of a sudden Spirit pulls me to, and I go, I never noticed that before.
Yeah. I never had even thought about looking at the picture of the card in depth until I did a video with Jeffrey from Ripe Color.
Yes.
And we did like a whole hour just on the hangman.
Yeah.
And
really
of course, him being an artist, he started bringing out all of these different things, from the colors to the backgrounds to the, are there mountains? Is there water? Is it? Yes. And it was like having my eyes open for the first time. It was like, I never in a million years thought to look at the cards that way to give me a message. It just, I was so busy trying to make sure I had it right from the book.
And so with the regular tarot, it's whatever your eye is drawn to.
Exactly.
You have that. So symbology is so important when you're looking at the visual. If the cards you pick are attractive to you and they pop and they say something right away, that is probably your deck. If it doesn't speak at all and you're looking at it and going, oh, I have to read the book.
No.
It's okay if you have to read the book, because the beautiful image that attracted you is not specifically saying something, but it might when you had a reader in front of you. I mean, a client. So
right.
Yeah.
I mean, I started with the Rider-Waite. I was taught by Lena Rodriguez, Tarot Down Under, and but so I've got the foundation of the meanings, but I use my intuition a lot.
Yeah,
it's just a tool.
It's
for your intuition. Yeah,
it's definitely a tool, and that's a good question. At what point do you feel like you could ever put the oracle cards or the tarot down and just really go with the intuition? Do you feel like there would ever be a point where you could just get the hit first, or maybe do you feel like you're moving more toward opening your intuition up as you're using the cards and doing readings for people? That might be a better way to say it. It's opening that channel wider and wider the more you open the channel and use it. Do you feel that is happening for you?
I can answer if you want me to go with me.
Well, sure. Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm moving towards, especially for readings online. The cards are just some evidence you can show people. But I usually get a hit quickly. I'm working on my mediumship. One of the bad habits I've actually developed is from reading online. I get a quick hit, and it's hard for me with mediumship to go deeper. So I'm working on that. But yeah, I get hits. I'll hear something, I'll know something, I'll see something. My clairvoyance is very strong. Actually, I have quite a few. I just wanted to show the cards about your intuition and developing it. These are my own cards. So a lot of people, when they're trying to, oh, do I have gifts, that kind of thing, they see it as a burden. Okay. And they're worried, right? Taking care of your intuition and developing your intuition, it does take self-care. Here I've got a bathtub. She's stepping into the tub. So you have to make sure you're taking care of yourself and you're hydrated and you're eating well and that kind of stuff. And just be open to spirit. Okay. And abundance. Just expect that you'll manifest that you will develop your intuition even more. Biggest piece of advice, get out of your head.
Yeah, totally.
And trust. And you will develop those superpowers and you will be able to pass on the message.
Right.
I thought that was pretty neat spread.
That's a pretty cute spread.
Yeah, I like
those. I think we'll transition over to our few questions that we have for today now. And I
didn't have any.
That's all right. I hope this topic has given you all food for thought and helped you to maybe connect or reconnect with decks you already have and with all the great information everyone shared. And so we'll go with the first question we got from Marina's channel. Andrea, what is my outcome if I move back to Chicago and leave my Leo boyfriend of 3 years? I'm an Aries. So using our normal strategy, pull one card. That's the challenge.
Yeah.
What was the question again? I completely zoned out on you.
It's on the screen. What is my outcome if I move back to Chicago and leave my Leo boyfriend of 3 years? I'm an Aries.
I got currents of emotion. I have uncontrolled feelings that are going to spill out of either you or him or both. I think it will be very difficult. That's what I get out of this card here.
Wow.
Currents of emotion.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah. I've got the garden, and this is from the True Love relationship cards. And what I got from the first thing that came into my head when I looked at it as Ellie was speaking was, yeah, you will reap what you have sown. So if this is something that you have, if this is a relationship that you have nurtured and it's been working for you and it's been good, but it's just time to move on, then you will have an amicable parting, and you can start your life anew if you go back to Chicago. If on the other hand this has been an unpleasant relationship and is not working for you, and there's been some animosity, you're going to have to sit down and clear that up before you do anything else.
Okay. And Sherry.
Okay, well, as I was shuffling, the card literally jumped out of the deck and flew across my desk. I pulled Samhain, death. And I don't think it means death in, of course, you're going to croak or something. But
yeah,
what I'm getting from it is that this symbolizes a change.
Yeah.
It symbolizes a fresh start. letting what doesn't work, letting the old go fall, letting it be put to rest, I guess would be a way to put it. Because it's time to move on and go to something fresh and new. So, I mean, if you're asking, should I leave my boyfriend of 3 years, then that means there's something not right in that relationship, that you're not happy enough, because you're not asking, should my boyfriend and I move to Chicago? It's, should I leave him and go back? If you're already asking that question out loud, then you've already made that decision.
Right.
And that's
Seems that
where
way.
this comes in. Yeah.
Yeah. So Allison, what did you get?
All right, Andrea, this is not gonna be gentle. So this is this new powerful deck that I love, that I'm always talking about. I shuffled and I pulled this this goddess, and it's pretty extreme. And so I was like, well, maybe we get a gentler message. I did it again. I pulled the same goddess.
Oh,
Well, that's serious.
I think you already know the answer. If you want to be, and if I'm wrong, I'm wrong, but I don't think so. I'm not going to pull this card twice.
no.
So this is Mama Lambo. And she's the shadow monster. She's a snake-like water-dwelling Zulu goddess of the rivers in Africa. And this is her message. This is the shadow guidance, and there's only 2 cards in here that give shadow guidance only. So it says, you are holding yourself apart from your blessings. What ancient pain are you trying to stuff down, numb, ignore, or avoid? What does your self-sabotage help you to avoid? Now, as always, take what makes sense. And I'm not a reader from the book, but this is a new deck, and it's so awesome. I am reading until I know this thing.
It's giving me the full body chills.
Yeah, I know, right? And this is the embodiment message, and I'm going to read the whole thing. It says, your inner saboteur is clever. Seductive patterns of behavior block your path and your power. Distractions, addictions, cravings, unhealthy habits will not bring you your best. Your inner bully is the voice telling you you messed up, or the part of you that is jealous, angry, you don't know what to do with it. Your stuck inner procrastinator and your toxic relationship choices. Stop terrorizing yourself with broken promises of discipline. Instead, choose devotion to your chosen pathways. What inspired action can you take today? And the declaration, which is really like a mantra from this goddess, is, I have compassion for myself.
Yeah.
And that's the message for Mama Lambo. And again, I pulled this twice. And I agree. The way you worded the question, I feel like you already know that this is what's going to be best for you to go without him. That's my message.
Okay, Sharon.
Whoa. Okay, so I got the 3 of Wands, but what popped into my head is, be careful. The grass is not always greener on the other side. And as you guys were talking, I pulled another card because I was told to, and it talks about what you said, Allison, is, you're going to have your self-sabotage, and the habits that you have are going to follow you. And if you see in the corner here she is, with her head like this. So the same negative thoughts, the same habits you have, the same, you're going to take yourself with you. So you're going to have to work on it. I also sympathize, because an Aries and a Leo, oh my God, passion, but also, whoa, can be passionately angry too. So anyways, I think it'll be a good move, as long as the grass isn't always greener, and you got some work to do, as we all do.
So, Andrea, I pulled chaos and conflict. And this card says to me that you definitely have shadow work that you need to complete with the boyfriend that you've been with for 3 years and leave in a state of loving release, because everything going forward will be better for you. Because if you leave in a, animosity or an unfriendly state, you haven't cleared things. And what will be waiting for you where you move will be more of the same kind of thing. You won't have cleared up all that stuff between you and another human being that's coming in to mirror and show you what you have to learn. And so that's the blessing of having a relationship, is what they mirror back to you so you can learn. And we are all responsible, both sides, when we're in a relationship. And of course, your boundaries is a really smart thing to do too. But the shadow work has to take place before you leave, because you don't want to go repeat the pattern. So I hope that helps you, Andrea. And we'll move on to the next question. And actually, we read on this a while back. I don't know if Jules Niner needs this or not, but we didn't read on it, but it actually was on someone else's show. But should Jules Niner's husband apply for an Amazon job listing in the, whether it's online or where?
I just want to say hi to Jane the Seeker. She's saying hi, and I can't put a comment on.
Yeah.
Okay, so could you repeat the question?
Yeah, it's up on the thing
there.
It's on the screen.
Oh, thank you. Yeah. Thank you.
Okay, I got exactly what I read today. Circumstances are changing at Amazon. As a matter of fact, Bernie is examining it because there's some real bad stuff going on. So I would say probably no.
Yeah.
Everybody that I've ever known who's worked there has been fired.
Oh gosh, yeah. And they are kind of like a sweatshop environment. I'm sorry to tell you, because I buy from them all the time.
Yeah.
So Marina would.
Yeah. Well, I got Basque, which is domesticity and nurturing. So I think what I'm getting from that is you want to be encouraging. You want to tell them to, go, go, go. It doesn't feel right.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't feel right. I would look in other directions. I would look at something else. But yeah, Jane says her son works at Amazon and loves it. So,
Oh well, I guess it depends on what position you have.
There's a lot of different
Or where you are.
Or
depends
where,
on how old you are and what you're doing.
Yeah.
Right, exactly. So, Sherry. Oh, well, go ahead. No.
I pulled ritual, standing for invocation, and I was trying to figure out what exactly it was trying to say on this. So I went ahead and pulled the book out, and it's talking about surrendering. You have to surrender. Follow your rituals to get your answers, but then you have to be willing to surrender to what those answers are. Like several of the others have said, I've known several people that have worked for Amazon that did not come out very pretty in the end. And I know they're building a big warehouse not far from where I live. So there's a lot of chatter about jobs coming, but I'm worried that a lot of people are going to get hurt in the process because of their reputation. And I also worry because, I know the reason number one reason why they probably decided to build here is because this is a right to work state, which means they have the right to fire you for no excuse whatsoever.
Oh, I see.
And you don't have any rights at all as the employee. But I'm just, more than anything, what I just keep getting off of this is go through the motions. I mean, is this a job he has to have, or is this just something for him to pass the time of day? I mean, if you're needing him to get this job because you need to pay bills because you can't meet your bills without him working, then, you know, he may have to bite the bullet and do something not very nice, you know, until he can get something better. But if it's just to kill time or just for something to do or spare change to take an extra vacation, I'd say wait. Look around, see what else is available. You know.
Okay. All right. So, Allison, what do you get?
She was asking, should he apply for an Amazon job? I asked, how about him actually having a job there? Because I mean, you can apply anywhere. It's whether or not he should be working there or how that's going to work out. So I took that liberty to just read on it like that. I would take a pass on this. I think it's a waste of his time. I don't think it's going to be his cup of tea, whatever. But again, I don't know what position he's looking at, but I have illusion, perception, and then more for the outcome. I have pride and leadership. So he's capable of doing something different, better, whatever. I don't know what words to use. I don't know anything about him or even what position he's applying for. I feel like he's more qualified to do something different than what he's actually looking at. Is probably the best way to put that. And then I have gentleness and diplomacy as the overall energy. So I don't know if he would be better like in some sort of like managerial type role or something like that. But let's say the job is for like a packer or a handler. It's like I'm getting some kind of, I don't know what it is. I'm not saying that's what it is. I just feel like whatever it is he's looking at, or maybe it's what they're actually hiring for at this moment at that location at the Amazon near him. I would pass. It's not for him. I'm just going to leave it at that. And then I'm going to start repeating myself.
Okay, good. Okay, so Sharon.
Yeah, I think it's a pass too. I think here's a 7 of Swords. I think Amazon tries to get away with too much, and I think they ask their employees to do far more than
they overwork
the measly wage that they pay them.
Right.
So I don't think it's a good idea.
Right. And I got the 9 of Swords.
Oh, there you go.
And, you know, this is not going to be a job he would want. He's not going to feel good about it. It's not going to be a good thing. I think they would overwork him and everything else. The atmosphere would be what he'd be looking for. So we've got one last question. And I had to break this question out into 2 different parts. So I did a lot of editing. So let me read this for Sally. Sally says, I just saw a bobcat. This is a meaningful thing here. I just saw a bobcat walking toward my pool. I looked out through the sunshade slats. I think they're actually outside of her house, and watched the bobcat crouch and drink. It saw me and stared as it continued to drink. Next, it calmly walked up to the door after it was done drinking, and it went past those slats, those outdoor sunshades, and where it checked me out for a few seconds. Then it walked to the wall, jumped up, looked back, and then turned again and jumped down. What was it trying to tell me? And immediately, this is what I got when I was typing this. You've got this. That was the message it's telling you. You've got this. That's what the bobcat was telling you. So whatever is going on in your life, It's giving you strength. It's giving you that determination to know you've got this, Sally. But I also additionally looked up what bobcats mean, and it in a spiritual way. And it says recognizing what your unconscious desire is in life and having patience to get the results you're owed. Practice self-care in an otherwise chaotic world. Ignore others' judgments. Know your boundaries and what you can handle. But the main thing is you've got this. Okay. Allie, go ahead.
So I was looking at it like it was a dream because I do a lot of dream analysis. But I also looked it up. It says it reminds you beauty alone is never enough. But beauty and wits are a winning combination. So I'm thinking that we can get older, we can look older, we can be older, but we still got our brain. So, you know, if we look at ourselves in the mirror and we don't recognize who we are anymore because, you know, we got more wrinkles or gray hair or whatever, that beauty isn't enough. Beauty is not enough. And that there is more to life than beauty. And it says here, if others try to make you feel badly, remember to never lower your vibration to meet theirs.
Oh, wow.
Always ask them to lift it up. Yeah. That's great. Yeah.
Beautiful. Marina.
Perfect. Absolutely going, confirming what Allie just said, because the card that I pulled, and this is from the Mystical Sisters, is Urania. And what she talks about is philosophy, knowledge, and intelligence. So you have the tools that you need to get the job done. Don't question yourself. You have what you need. Believe that you believe in the outcome being positive. If you look at this, I mean, she's quite comfortable, right? She's sitting back. She's surrounded by books. She's surrounded by knowledge, and she's just absolutely reveling in that.
That matches my "you've got this." It's like you've got this. Girl.
Yeah. You've got this.
You've got this. Oh.
I heard basically the same message, but phrased a little differently. As you were reading it out loud, I mean, I read it, but when you started reading it out loud, in my head, I heard, "Bitch, please."
Yeah.
Just like that. Okay. Just that simple "bitch, please."
Yeah.
You know? And then I pulled from the Healing Spirits Oracle. It says it isn't about being right. It's about doing the right thing.
Yeah.
And that just seems to go right along with everything we've talked about. But yeah. Bitch, please, you got this. Quit questioning it. You know?
Yeah, exactly. Right. Exactly.
It's in the bag.
Yeah, it's in the bag. So what did you get, Allison?
So I think what this is, and I do love the fact that she saw the bobcat. I have a little bit different feeling about the visit, but I'm not even going to go into that. But I still drew on her, and I got very similar message, so it doesn't even matter. But I just wanted to mention that. The overall message is about loving yourself and having loyalty and sincerity to yourself. There's something here, I don't know what it is, but there's something here that you may feel like is a risk, but it will definitely, it is your something that you are meant to do, or it's of your natural ability to do, but for some reason you feel a little scared about it, but it will have a payout to you. Not necessarily financially, it could be. It might just be, just you being proud of yourself that you did this thing. I don't know what it is, but I've got risk, truth, and wealth. And the overall energy is the dog, which is all about sincerity and unconditional love and loyalty and all that kind of stuff. But this is about you. This is about you and you. That's what I got.
Okay, so Sharon, what did you get?
Well, this is interesting because look at all the hands here. I mean, it's giving and receiving, but look at all the hands. You've got this.
Yeah.
We've got you.
Yeah.
You've got this.
Mm-hmm.
And also, giving and receiving, keeping that going, because that will serve you very well.
Yeah.
But look at all those hands. You've got this, and there's lots of others people rooting for you.
I hope that resonates.
I hope it does too.
I just realized I pulled multiple cards and I was supposed to pull one. I'm so sorry.
All right. We get sometimes we
I'm so sorry.
We get excited.
I drove for 6 hours today.
We're just gonna whip you with a wet noodle.
Yep.
Sorry.
Bend over.
Yeah.
hilarious.
With this deck and then go to the other deck because that's how I always pulled from it. And anyways, I'm sorry.
No,
We
you're sounding very Canadian right now. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. Yeah. I'm sorry. Yeah.
Well, we have. Let me get rid of this question. Sally, thank you for asking the question. Oh, you're welcome. Thank you for asking that beautiful question, because I
it was a beautiful
vision of that beautiful, powerful animal, and it felt like such a beautiful visit.
I also, sorry, I got a hit too, was that he came up to say thank you, but also his way of giving to her was that message. So it was, the water, giving and receiving.
Yeah, it was just beautiful. I thought.
Yeah, absolutely.
Wonderful.
Good question.
I'd like to say something really quick since she went ahead and said that. My son has been getting visits from bobcats pretty regularly at his pool where he lives. But also I'm a big believer in visits from animals and whether or not they're unusual or if they're just visits, right? Because I'm really into animal medicine and all of that. But anyways, very cool. It's always wonderful to have a big cat on your property where you can really see them well, especially if you're in the house. And and ours keeps throwing off my son's camera, the Ring camera. And so they keep catching it because it's on the side yard and there's this cat walking along the pool and it drinks out of the pool. It's pretty cool.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. Wow.
So cool. Hey, Jules Niner. I'm sorry.
You're probably thinking, how come these people got all this
you're coming in just as we're wrapping her up. Yeah.
Yeah, I was just trying to tell Jules Niner that we did read on her question, and we kind of universally gave it a thumbs down on that. I'll just save you the trouble of reading.
Yeah.
But the Amazon thing, just because
Although I shop from Amazon regularly, I just don't want to.
I am a patron myself, even probably every other day.
I probably spend anywhere between $5,000 to $15,000 a month.
Yeah.
For the department purchasing stuff from Amazon.
But it's certainly different than your husband actually being employed there. So that is a kind of, for entertainment purposes, only sweatshop environment. But I love Amazon to buy from. So I just have to say hi to Trish. Hey, from Australia. Hi, my Trish. And Starhawk. Yeah.
You're more than welcome.
Yeah. Thank you so much, ladies, for sharing your gifts with us. Well, it's our pleasure. That's why we're here. And we wouldn't be here without all of you. And so I want to thank you all for being here with us. And your energy exchange with us is so important, and we value you all. So I want to tell you, please go like and subscribe to each of these wonderful ladies' channels, and
Don't forget the
leave
house.
a comment, and yeah, whatever you can do, we appreciate it. Thank you so much, and we'll see you next week on Allie Heart and Soul Connected.
Yep.
So there we go.
And just one last thing before we go. On Saturday, we will, on each one of our channels, is going to put up a little thumbnail, and it's the Sisters of the Mystical Tarot guidelines and rules.
You'll see a little guideline.
Yeah, and it just tells you you should, in the comments section underneath that little thumbnail, that's where you can post your questions, and we will read on it on Wednesday.
Yes, and that's how these people
Thank
got
you,
their questions.
Tricia. I've been getting compliments. Yeah, wonderful. I'll
Yeah,
have to do this more often.
we were turning her head with all of the compliments backstage.
Yeah.
So she's a glamour girl today. So
Yeah.
I really
Oh,
enjoyed today, ladies. I
Yeah.
really enjoyed today discussing that topic. It was lovely. I
Very
think we can
nice.
come up with some more. Yeah.
yeah. So thank you all so
Yes.
much, and we'll see you next week on Allie's channel. Heart and Soul.
Bye, y'all.
Bye bye.
Have a good week.